All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving deep today into something pretty interesting, uh, pre-construction planning and strategy.
Yeah,
And we're looking at this through the lens of the Gold Seal certification program,
absolutely.
which you might have heard of.
hmm
So for our listeners out there who maybe aren't familiar,
Yeah,
could you give us a little rundown of what the Gold Seal certification is all about?
yeah, for sure. It's basically like the gold standard in Canada for construction professionals.
Yeah,
Shows you have the skills and experience,
right.
and it's really well respected in the industry and
Absolutely.
can open up some doors for you career-wise. Could even mean like higher earning potential.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So to get this certification, there's a whole bunch of competencies you got to prove. And one of those focuses on assisting in long-term planning, marketing, and bidding strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
You wouldn't immediately think they'd be in there.
You think of a project manager, you think blueprints and timelines, right?
It's like, yeah.
Not necessarily marketing plans, but
Right. This competency really highlights how much a successful project depends on that strategic vision from the very beginning.
it's kind of like imagine a conductor who doesn't just know how to read music,
Yeah.
but also knows how to pick the right musicians for the orchestra and how to like promote the concert, get people in the seats.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's about that whole experience.
Right. Exactly. It's about the bigger picture.
Not just the performance itself.
Exactly. So this competency really digs into like understanding your client's needs,
Okay.
aligning with what's happening in the market, and even understanding your own organization's capabilities before you jump into a project.
So let's break that down a little bit. You mentioned understanding the client's needs.
Hmm.
How does a project manager, really go beyond just the basic requirements and really grasp what the client wants?
Yeah, it's about going deeper,
Mm.
right? It's about being a partner, not just a builder. Think like in-depth interviews with the client, not just checking boxes on a form. Some projects even use like vision board workshops. Can you imagine?
To really capture the function the client wants. And you got to have feedback,
Yeah.
all throughout the planning stage, make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Saves you those headaches down the road.
Oh, absolutely. But that's not what I wanted moments.
Exactly, yeah.
Costly, yeah. And then there's, keeping an eye on the market trends. Imagine you're building a big office complex,
Okay.
but you haven't considered things like open plan workspaces or that everyone wants sustainable building materials.
Right.
Your project could feel out of date before it's even finished.
So like you got to be a bit of a trend spotter as a project manager.
For sure, yeah. Got to know what clients are looking for, what your competitors are doing, and how new tech, or new regulations are going to affect things. Like understanding the push for green building. That could mean energy efficient designs or using recycled materials.
And how about aligning with the organization's capabilities? What does that look like?
That's where you got to be strategic.
Yeah.
Like you get this awesome bid for a high rise, right? Okay.
But your company specializes in smaller residential buildings. Taking on that project, that could really stretch your resources thin.
Yeah.
Lead to delays, maybe the quality suffers.
You got to know your limits.
Exactly. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And you got to know your finances, your personnel, how far you can realistically work. That remote project might sound exciting, but if you can't logistically support it, it's going to be a nightmare.
Right. So how does all this pre-construction planning play into marketing and bidding?
Think of it this way.
Yeah.
You've done your homework.
Right.
You understand the client, the market, your own company.
Okay.
Now you're ready to put together a killer bid and market yourself, show what you got.
Yeah.
It's not just about the numbers anymore. You're showing that deep understanding of the project
Okay.
and how you can deliver.
Right.
You can highlight your experience, like with sustainable building, how it matches the client's values, or how your project management style keeps things on time and on budget.
You're selling your strengths in a way that really connects with what the client needs. Exactly. And what the market wants.
I imagine this deep dive into the project helps you spot potential problems early on too, right?
Oh, absolutely. A project manager who's done their pre-construction planning can see those challenges coming. They might spot potential permit delays, budget issues because material costs are going up, even safety concerns.
Yeah, wow.
And by addressing those things early on, you can avoid so many headaches later.
Makes sense. So this pre-construction planning, it's less like a preliminary step and more like the foundation for the whole project.
That's a great way to put it. And by showing these skills, construction professionals aren't just helping their company grow, they're building a reputation for strategic thinking and collaboration.
Right.
Which is super valuable if you're going for that Gold Seal certification.
Yeah, for sure. So it's clear that pre-construction planning, it's not just about drawing lines on blueprints.
Right.
It's about drawing a roadmap to success. Understanding the client, the market, your strengths,
Yeah.
those are just as important as knowing how to, lay bricks.
Couldn't agree more. You could say if a building is a physical representation of a vision, then these pre-construction skills, that's like having the blueprint for success.
Love that analogy. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive for today, but I want to leave you with something to think about. Could these pre-construction principles apply beyond just construction? Could they work in, say, software development or even event planning? Something to ponder until next time. Keep exploring and keep learning, everyone.
Yeah, interesting question.